fellow followers, and welcome to FanZcene. And today, for you, how about some of my latest Blu-ray 4K VHS pickups? Some of these you may have seen on my show I do on Wednesday nights at 9:30 called the Physical Media Show. For those of you who have not seen them, you'll get to see them here. For those of you who have seen them, you'll get to see them again. But these are my latest pickups I've gotten over the past 2 months or so, other than my VHS hauls that I've done here on. So I'm going to share them with you guys, and I hope you enjoy them, because you know I love me some physical media, and I hope you guys do too. So let's get to it. Up first, we'll start with a few of my new VHSs I got. I actually shared this last Wednesday, but it is James Belushi and Charles Grodin in Taking Care of Business. This is actually the original VHS. It is unopened. I just recently got this, and this is one of my favorite James Belushi movie, along with K9 and Mr. Destiny. This is an all-time classic. James Belushi here, you know, he breaks out of prison to see the Cubs play, and I believe in the World Series, I believe they're getting to, and then he finds Charles Grodin's planner and basically becomes Charles Grodin, and it's just hilarious. This is a great movie. I love it, and I'm so glad to actually have this VHS unopened too, so that's really cool. So I really dig it. I really dig it. This next set of VHSs here, yes, 2 VHSs, because it's a part 1 and a part 2, so I'm really glad to have these. One is like a later on VHS reproduced, and the other is the original VHS. So it's Cocoon by Ron Howard and Cocoon Part 2, and almost slipped out there. Yes, Cocoon Part 2 is the original CBS Fox, if you can see that. Release. It's a little battered, still got like a rental sticker on the back there, so that's pretty cool and neat. And much like if you've seen my last VHS haul I did, I got The Fly, which is also a CBS Fox original. Fly Part 2, actually. I seem to be getting the sequels on the original VHSs. The sticker is off on it too, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to put that back on there. But I'm really glad to have these. I really like the the Cocoon movies. Are really great. They're classic flicks. They got that, that Amblin, Ron Howard, Spielberg feel to both of them. And I really think the Cocoon Return is an underrated sequel in my mind. So I got these, the original, and like a later on reprint of, well, I guess you can say it's reprint VHS, but later on. So I got these. I love these movies, old people feeling young. And just think, Paul Rudd is actually the same age as, what's his name? Wilford Brimley was in the original Cocoon now. Get that through your head. How about a little respect for a 90s offbeat classic, Ladybug, starring Rodney Dangerfield. I remember this movie with John Brandis and Rodney Dangerfield, where John Brandis dresses up as a girl to play on a female soccer team. A movie you probably couldn't get away with today. But I always thought this movie was really funny. I really enjoyed it. Rodney Dangerfield is hilarious, and Jack Harry, who is hilarious in this as well too. This is an all-time like 90s goofball classic. So I really like this, and I had to get it. It's only on DVD right now, so there's a DVD for you. I really enjoy this movie. It's really funny, and I'm glad to have this. Let's do some 4Ks now. First, my last VHS haul, I just recently said I got this on VHS, but I have the Animal House on 4K, which looks amazing. I actually showcased this on one of my physical media shows one night, so if you missed it, so here's the 4K of National Lampoon's Animal House, which is an all-time classic. There's not much I can say about this. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and see this. This movie just made John Belushi famous. It's it's such a great movie. John Landis directed it, and John Landis was a great director. American Werewolf in London and stuff, and I'll actually have another one of his later on that I just found out about. So stay tuned for that. Beetlejuice. Whoosh. Oh, look, he showed up. I have Beetlejuice on 4K. I'm bummed that I didn't get the slipcover with this, but I'm really glad to have this. Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. It's just so amazing. And Tim Burton and Winona Ryder and Dale. This is all around a good movie. I actually gave away the digital copy on one of my streams, so that was cool to do. But, if you have not seen Beetlejuice, you have to see Beetlejuice. I'm trying to avoid the glare. It's an all-time classic film. Just look, look, if you've not seen it, you got to see it. And I said his name 3 times, so where's he at? One of the first Marvel films ever made. You had George Lucas, you had Marvel. What could go wrong? Well, nothing in my book, because I like Howard the Duck. and I got it on 4K. I know a lot of people don't like this. It's so bad. Everybody always says, they're so bad they're good. Yeah, I get it. I understand when a movie is bad. I get it. But there's something to the movies like Howard the Duck and some of the other ones I'm going to show you where, yes, they may be a bad movie, but if you enjoy them and you like them, doesn't that make them just good? Because I really like Howard the Duck, and I think it's a great film. It's hilarious. Leah Thompson. Sorry for any ladies who makes this, but Leah Thompson was so hot, still is, and it just there's weirdness in this movie. There's bad things in this movie, but I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's really good, and I'm so glad to finally have it on 4K. Time to drop that zero and get with a hero. Yes, I've made that joke again, because this movie, that's like one of the biggest lines in this movie. Vanilla Ice and Cool As Ice stars Vanilla Ice and one of the sisters from Home Alone. I just really enjoyed this movie. It was so bad. It was so funny. It was so great. Such a 90s. Man, if you're like longing for the 90s, because I cover a lot of 80s stuff, and I also dig the 90s stuff too, because like the 80s and 90s is by far my favorite 2 decades. But I enjoy stuff from all decades. But this is like, if you're like 90s nostalgic, watch this movie. This movie is so 90s. It's like when you watch it, you like immediately go back in your mind, and it's so great, so funny. Vanilla Ice, he wasn't a great actor, but this movie just, I don't know, there's something endearing about this movie. And once again, like I said, it's one of those they say it's so bad it's good, but if you enjoy it, it's good. And yes, it is a bad film, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Really found it funny. And, it's a great 90s throwback as far as I'm concerned. How about another 90s throwback movie? I know, 90s throwback, right? This one takes place on Halloween. It's a bit of an out there movie. Spaced Invaders. It's about a group of aliens who crash land on Earth on Halloween, and they meet up with these kids, and it's in a small town, and it's got that like small town flavor, 50s sci-fi vibe, and it's like a sort of a kiddie type flick. But it's funny, it's hilarious, it takes place on Halloween, and since it's getting close to spooky season, and I'm really big on spooky season and Halloween, I'm really glad to have this, and I'm looking forward to watching on this, and it's by Kino Lorber, which also Cool Advice was, so I'm really glad to finally have this, my collection. I know I don't mean to have so many glares, but I remember watching this a lot as a kid, and just was so funny. The aliens were so funny. One of them talks like Jack Nicholson. It's so hilarious. It's funny. These aliens are great special, practical effects, and the aliens weren't CGI. They were actual, like people in costumes, and the costumes were great. The puppeteering and everything was great. So this was a great 90s flick. If you want to get into it, check it out. I highly recommend it. This next one, I really am so glad to finally have on Blu-ray and for Vestron, The Wraith, starring Charlie Sheen. This movie is so good in my mind, and even Clint Howard is in this. I love Clint Howard. That man is American cinema legend as far as I'm concerned. But this movie is so great. This Charlie Sheen shows up in a small Arizona town, desert town, where this gang of people were, like racing people and taking their cars, and it was well before Fast and Furious, and, this mysterious Wraith being shows up and starts killing them off one by one, and of course, it's spoiler alert for anybody who's seen it, and if you don't want to hear it, close your ears, but of course, you pretty much know from the beginning it is Charlie Sheen, and there's a great little story to this, and it's sort of like a remake and also inspired by Clint Eastwood's High Plains Drifter, which is a phenomenal movie as well too. If you've not seen that, watch Wraith. They're great flicks altogether, and I'm so glad that Vestron Collector Series finally put this out with a great set of special features. I don't know if you can see them all, but it's so great. The transfer to this looks amazing. I watched it. We got audio commentary, interviews, stuff about the car. The car Interceptor was amazing in this film. So if you have not got a chance to pick this up, I highly recommend this. You might be saying, where's all the modern movies at? Well, here on my channel, if you know me and if you're new to this, I don't tend to like a lot of whole new modern stuff. It's just me. I don't find it very good. It's just for one reason or another, stuff they put in the films. But I've really enjoyed this. This is a new flick that I've actually really enjoyed, and I got to talk to the director. Die in a Gunfight. If you've not seen Die in a Gunfight, check it out. Colin Shifley. I know him and his brother. I've had him on the channel. We had a great discussion about this film and monster movies, 80s stuff. It's so great, so fun, and this movie is really good. It's just one of those like genre type films, that you would find late night on Saturday night TV, and you're just like, what is this movie? What the heck is going on in this? It's crazy, off the wall, and I really enjoy it. It's a pretty decent action, kind of a satire towards like Quentin Tarantino type movies and stuff. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was really good. And if you have not seen it, check it out. I also did a review on it on my channel here for you guys if you want to check it out. But die in a gunfight. Okay, stepping back into the 80s, I actually just learned about this movie from Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge as he was on my channel. It's sort of a spiritual sequel to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and it's called Wildlife. And if I'm honest with you guys, I want to be honest with you guys, I may have liked this movie more than Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's funnier. It stars Chris Penn and Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson, and also, you know, this is the movie that Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson did before they were cast in Back to the Future, and before Eric Stoltz was removed from Back to the Future. You can kind of see maybe why they cast him as Marty McFly in this movie. But this movie is like, it's funnier than Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's more of a comedy, where Fast Times at Ridgemont High was a little bit serious and could get a little depressing at times. This was funnier. It's more about like going into college, where Fast Times at Ridgemont High, sorry, I keep wanting to say it too fast, was more about, you know, high school life. And, you know, because Cameron Crowe, who wrote it and who also wrote this, he went undercover in high school to write Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And this is, I think, like more based on his friends and his collegial experiences and going into college and everything. And this was just really funny, a really great, entertaining movie with a great, stellar cast and just some really great, funny bits and some serious drama in there too, as well too. But it all worked out, and it's called The Wildlife. If you have not seen this rare 80s gem of a movie, I would recommend this. Definitely recommend this. Check it out. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on glorious 4K. I was so glad to finally pick these up. I just picked up the VHS, the original VHS, in magnificent condition. But I've actually got these before I picked it up. Like I said, these are my stuff I bought over the past 2 months. But yes, I'm so glad to finally have Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on 4K. They're great. The picture quality is great. The special features are pretty decent. A Ghostbusters retrospective on here, and maybe the second one wasn't as good as the first one, but I love them both, and it's so good to see this. And I'm actually looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm really hoping that can go right along with these two. It looks good so far, but fingers crossed, you never know. And like I talked to Brandon Shifley, how hard is it to get just these 4 dudes back in a movie together? It's pretty hard, but we just want to see the Ghostbusters come back and kick some ghost ass. But I'm so glad to have these on 4K, and if you've not picked them up, pick them up. It amazes me how many people maybe don't know about this next one, but Streets of Fire. This is a 35th anniversary Steelbook Collectors from Shout Factory. I got a little dent, which is one reason why I don't buy Steelbooks as often, because it's a little dent here. I don't know if you can see it. That pissed me off when it happened. Sorry, but it does. But I really, this was cheaper than the regular Blu-ray, so I bought it. But I'm really glad to finally have this. It stars Michael Paré and oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. She plays Martha Kent in the new Superman movies and so many other great movies. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name, but I'm sure somebody tell me and correct me down at the bottom. But this is so great. It's like a rock and roll action fairy tale. It takes place in another time, in another world, and it's just amazing. And you don't know what it feels like to be young until you watch this. It's so great. It's got Rick Moranis in it, and it's got just so many great people, and it's such a great cast. So many great action sequences and great musical numbers in this. If you've not seen this, it's just like, this movie was ahead of its time in the 80s, so you should really, I definitely recommend this very much. It was streaming on Netflix for those who stream. I physical media, so I have it. But for those who stream, it was streaming on Netflix, and I would say check it out if it's still on there, if you have that, because it's just such a great movie. There's action. William Dafoe's in it. He plays the bad guy. He plays a great, he's leader of this motorcycle gang that kidnap, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. I'm kicking myself because I know her and she's been in so many great movies. But they kidnap her, and Michael Paré's character, who you may know from Eddie and the Cruisers, he's just come back into town. He's like this mysterious guy who maybe was a bad boy at one time in their town, and they kind of hire him, Rick Moranis, who is her boyfriend at the time, and Michael Paré is her former boyfriend. They hire him to go save her, and sparks fly and everything. And also, speaking of which, Diana Gunfight has similar scenes to this, because this movie was one of the influences on that. So, a little tidbit for you, so check them both out. Okay, so I mentioned John Landis earlier with Animal House. This movie here, I actually did not know about till my friend Gary Kissel over at Pop Culture Minefield, who's a great artist. He told me about it, and it's kind of like a neo-noir type flick. It stars Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer. It's called Into the Night, and this was such a great movie. The chemistry between Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer in this is great. It's so amazing, and I believe this is like one of Michelle Pfeiffer's first movies, and she just absolutely steals this movie. And Jeff Goldblum is just perfect in this movie. He can't sleep. He has insomnia. He don't know why. He's just having a hard time, and he catches his wife cheating on him. And so he kind of takes advice from Dan Aykroyd, who makes an appearance in this, to just go off to Vegas. And on his way to the airport to leave, he bumps into Michelle Pfeiffer, who is running away from like these guys who just killed somebody that she just come back with. She's being chased, and they're being chased all through like Hollywood and LA in like the 80s. And it's very like noir type film, and it's really great. And it's just, if you've not seen this, I would say see this. I know I said it a lot, but I do recommend all these. I only buy what I love, and this I love, and I love all these. So if you've not seen this, I would say check this out. This comes from Shout Select. It's actually a pretty good price on Shout right now if you want to get it, but it's got some great things. It's a restored master, and it's from John Landis, who I did not know even made this movie, but it's so good, it's so great, and it's got some decent comedy, it's got some shock, it's got some action. This movie, it's really surprised me. It got a little darker than I anticipated in some scenes where I didn't realize it was going to go that way, but it's also very lighthearted and a romantic comedy, noir type, crime thriller type thing. It's all in one. And the music, oh my gosh, the music in this is so great, and it's got stuff from B.B. King. It works all together in this film. You got to check this out. So finally, the last two, yes, so some more sequels. Some of my favorite, and I showcased these before, and some of these I've actually posted on Instagram, but how about Teen Wolf 1 and Teen Wolf 2 from Shout Factory? Great transfers, so much special features, such a huge documentary on the making of Teen Wolf. Brand new that when this came out. Man, Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf 1 was such amazing. Teen Wolf 2 was not such a good flick, but I really, really like it. Once again, it may be considered a bad movie, but it's a movie I enjoy to watch. And I've been thinking about doing like a video on terrible sequels that I enjoy. So, but yes, these are great from Shout Factory. So much great stuff on here. So much great 80s nostalgia and memories watching these. I remember watching these as a kid. These movies are so great, and the artwork on these Shout Factory Blu-rays are so amazing. And I also got, like, when you do this, I got the original cover too, because they allow you to do that with the cover art. So if you like the original cover artwork, let me get the glare. So there you go. If you like the original cover artwork as well too, they got that. So yes, these movies are fantastic, and they came out a while ago, but I just recently got them over the past 2 months, and I had to get them finally because Teen Wolf and was one of my all-time favorite movies, right up there with Back to the Futures and so many other. I have so many favorite movies. I can't pick one, but these are such great movies, and if you have a chance to get them, I would say get them before they go out of print. Alright, so let me know what you guys think about all these pickups in the comment section down below. Which ones were your favorite? What are some of the stuff you've just recently picked up? Let me know all this in the comment section down below. I absolutely love physical media. I love doing these videos. This one might have turned out a little longer than I anticipated, but I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. And if you did like this video, please give it a like. If you didn't like the video, you can go ahead and give it a dislike. No hurt feelings here. Please share this video out for everybody to see. And for those of you who stayed this long, and everybody that stays this long, I truly, truly appreciate it, and I hope it earned your subscription. Please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you for watching. Wherever you guys are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Keep collecting, and Godspeed.